Hey there, I'm Jen, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the tow vehicle that we use to tow our Jayco Jay Feather Micro 171BH. We use a Ram 1500, but that wasn't always the case. So I just wanted to talk about why we chose this tow vehicle and how we got here. So we originally used a 2011 Dodge Dakota to tow this trailer, which is considered a midsize truck. It had a max tow rating of 4,900 pounds, and this trailer dry is just a little over 4,000 pounds, and fully loaded, it's a max of 4,995 pounds, so just under 5,000. So we knew it would be close. Our plan was to just travel with empty tanks so we wouldn't fill up our water and stuff. We'd pack light and make sure that we weren't too close to our max tow rating. So when we bought it, the dealership was about 100 miles away from our house. So we towed it from the dealership. It was completely fine. It was mostly flat land from the dealership back to our house. But like I said, it was about 100 miles and we had no problems, towed great. So after that, we towed it to our in-laws, and there was more hills, more up and downs then. It was only after about 40 miles from home that we started running into some issues. So the check engine light came on and the transmission was having issues shifting. The truck was really struggling to tow it up and over the hills. The plan at that point was to store the trailer at our in-laws though, so we kept going slowly. We got it there and then we just left the trailer there for a few weeks while we figured out what was going on with the truck. We took it to the mechanics and they luckily said there's nothing wrong with the truck. The truck is running just fine. The transmission didn't even need a service or anything. Everything looked great. But what they did say was that we can't tow this trailer with that truck. If we did, we would continue to have problems. We would end up ruining the transmission. It was just too much for that truck to pull. So at that point, we still weren't ready to give up on the Dakota just yet. What we did was we got an OBD2 sensor, and that allowed us to get some more information about the truck. So what we were hoping to do was monitor the temperatures so that when we're driving, if the truck starts getting overheated, if the transmission's having problems, we could pull off, hang out in the trailer for a little bit, and we can see when the truck's getting back into its regular temperatures and stuff again so that we could keep going. So we thought if we could just monitor it better, we could just go slow, stop, and let the truck rest, and then get back on our way. And while the sensor did give us a lot more information, it didn't give us everything we needed to really feel comfortable with that plan. We couldn't actually see the temperature of the different components of the engine. We couldn't see how the transmission was doing and if we needed to pull over and let it cool down. So we decided that it was time for a new tow vehicle. We wanted to keep our family safe, wanted to keep everyone safe, and we also didn't want to destroy our current truck. After months of research, we decided to go with the 2021 Ram 1500 Limited, and here is why. The first is it is so comfortable. This was really important to us because we have our two kids and the dog in the back, and they have so much space. They all have their own areas. It's really large and comfortable for them. But also, we wanted to make sure that it was comfortable to ride in and drive whether or not we're towing, because we're using this as our daily driver. And this truck feels great whether you're towing or not. It feels just like driving a nice sedan. The next thing we like is the camera system. The camera system is so nice that my husband could actually hitch up and do everything all on his own. So it has the backup camera, but even more than that, you could zoom in and you could see exactly where the hitch is. It's really easy to line it up that way. You can also click the backup camera just to kind of check on the connections while you're driving. It lets you view it for, I think, about 8 seconds. It's just kind of nice to have that extra peace of mind, check and make sure everything still looks good back there. It also has a blind spot indicator. So not only is there a little indicator on the mirror that lights up if there's a vehicle in the truck's blind spot, It also can sense the trailer length, and it takes the length of trailer into consideration when it's figuring out if there's a vehicle in your blind spot. So if there's a vehicle anywhere in the truck or trailer's blind spot, you get a little indicator on your mirrors so you know there's a car there. The next thing we liked about this were all of the gauges. It has a ton of data, so it's really easy to see whatever information you want right in the center console there. And you can monitor all of the different temperatures. It's really easy to keep an eye and make sure that we're not pushing the truck too hard. Another must for us with a tow vehicle was that it had a brake controller, and this one's in a really nice, easy to get to location. This truck also has a really large gas tank. It has a 33-gallon gas tank, which has been really nice because when you're towing, you don't get as good of gas mileage, and it's also not always very easy to stop with a trailer and get gas. So it's been really nice to just not have to stop as often to get some more gas. We also really liked the tow mirrors. So you can flip the mirrors upright to turn them into tow mirrors, and then you get great visibility of the sides and the top of the trailer. And this just makes it that much easier to watch for low-hanging branches and keep an eye on the trailer. Another thing we love about this truck is that it has air suspension. So that's actually one of the main reasons why we went with the limited trim instead of something else like a Laramie, is because when you add on the air suspension and the cameras, the surround cameras, it basically is the same cost as a limited. So we went with the limited trim because all that stuff comes standard with it, and it's really nice for towing because we have no squat. The air suspension is self-leveling, and so no matter what we have, if it's hooked up to the trailer, the truck is still completely level. Now, even though it's level, we know that this doesn't mean that there's no weight on the back. There is still, the trailer back there. So we do still use a weight distribution hitch. Another thing we like about the truck is a 3.92 rear axle ratio. And so what this does is it just gives us some extra towing capacity, about another 2,000 pounds, I think. So the standard 9,000 pound towing capacity would be enough for this trailer, but we just wanted to be over prepared. We also really like that our truck doesn't have any extras. We don't have a sunroof, and we specifically didn't want one because that would take away from the payload. Every extra that you add onto the truck is going to take away from the payload. And on a 1500, the payload's already pretty tight, especially when you consider there's a family of 4 and a dog. All of that takes away from the payload. So we really wanted to make sure that we didn't have any extras that were taking away from our already kind of low payload rating. And with the options that we have a payload of 1431, and we have a towing capacity of 11,331. So this really sets us up to tow safely and be able to bring all of our stuff without worrying about being over our tow ratings. So getting the truck definitely made getting the trailer a lot more expensive, but it was well worth it. It turns out that our original expectations just weren't that realistic. We had planned on traveling with empty tanks, and we want to do dry camping in California. And with the drought, a lot of campgrounds have made it so now you can't fill up your trailer with the spigots at camp. So you really need to have your tanks filled to be able to go and enjoy your dry camping. So just having this truck and not having to worry about adding that extra weight has really made the type of camping that we want to do a lot more possible and a lot more enjoyable. We love this truck. It tows beautifully, and it's a safer choice for towing with our family.